What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Line of the Stars. I'm Jordan, and we're back today with another episode of the Enterprise D from Fanhome. And we are marching on with some pretty significant and very easily recognizable pieces as we are starting to work on the engineering section of this model. And so we're not going to be doing too much today. We see stage 64, but really 64 is going to be kind of wrapped up into stage 66 as we're going to need to be doing some modification of this piece. So anything that happens over the next couple of stages regarding this piece, whether it's putting these pieces of the pylons around the outside or what have you, we're going to go ahead and skip over that because I need to modify this to be able to have the wires run down through the inside. So that will be covered in the next episode. But before we get there, we need to go ahead and get through 63, 64, and 65. And I'm really looking forward to this because now that I finally have a couple of shipments, I've got all my stuff resined and ready to go. After a bit of a delay, it's time to go ahead and get back to the build. So let's get on to stage 63 and doing a quick little bit work on getting some hull panels assembled. All right, here's 63. And as a reminder, I've already gone through, like I said, and I've resined my windows and got them all painted up and ready to go. So let's go ahead and get the package open the rest of the way. So let's see if we can do the classic. Yeah, see. Sometimes I can do it. Sometimes it works. Let's go ahead and get all the things out. Go ahead and dump some of our panels here. And make sure we have everything. We're all set. We have one escape pod. Some windows that we don't have to do anything with. A couple of the support posts for the inside of our engineering section bottom. We have some AM and BM screws, a couple of reflector backs, and I think that's about it. All right, so let's go ahead and get our AM screws out. And as a reminder, I'm using my 3-in-1 oil, all ready to go. And we're going to be using that for any time that we're using any screws going into metal, as it helps ease the screws through the paint. So AM, BM screws. And let's go ahead and get our panel out. Never easy to get these things fully out, but here we go. These are the first couple of these that I resined up, and it turned out really good. I was a little nervous about getting it taken care of, but it did turn out really well. And we just have some of our tape back behind, black paint, and then I went ahead and colored these a couple yellow. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and set this panel off to the side. Let's go ahead and set all these little goodies off first, because first things first, we are going to go ahead and grab the bottom of our engineering section. And I'm just going to go ahead and keep it in its base for right now. Well, until we really need it. So we're going to go set this aside. We have two more of these keyed pieces, as you can see there. And they slot into place on either one of these posts right here. So what we're going to do is go ahead and start and do that. And we're going to use one BM screw for each one of these. So we're going to go ahead and slot that in. Let's grab a BM screw. Get it oiled up and ready to go. And without trying to be too picky about it, I'm just going to go ahead and get it started. And then, as we get a little bit closer, make sure it's sitting in its keyed location. And there we go. And do make sure you use your oil here, because these posts have a lot of paint inside. And this model is not pre-threaded. All right, let's grab another BM screw. And do the same thing over on the other side. Start by getting my screw through the hole. Get it started. And as it gets a little bit closer, make sure it's sitting in its key slot. And there we go. So we got 4 of those posts put in place. And that's it for this portion of the stage. So let's go ahead and set that back off to the side. And there's that. We will see this in the coming episodes as we start to build around. But looks like we're starting to work with the pylons first. So we're going to go ahead and set this off to the side. Now, we're going to go ahead and grab our window section here. We're going to go ahead and grab our escape pod and making sure that we have our orientation going correctly. Go ahead and slot it into place. And then we're going to use this reflector here. And this one is going to sit just like this. Is this how this goes? Yes, just like that. Over the top. Yes, just like that. I see. How interesting. And then we're going to do the same thing up here with this reflector piece. This one is going to slot into place just like this. Like bottom right. I don't know. I don't know what all that means. We're going to use our AM screws. And just slot it into place. There we go. That looks like. Excellent. I'm assuming we're going to go ahead and grab this piece now. Let's set it over the top. With, just like that. And with 2 AM screws. Get that locked into place. And one more. And I believe this completes stage 63. And there it is. There's our whole panel all assembled. And that completes the end of stage 63. Yeah, there it is. Well, we're going to go ahead and get our phaser array assembled and then look at what we would be doing in stage 64, but we will go ahead and pull out our pylon section. So let's go ahead and take a look at stage 64. All right, here's stage 64. I've been excited about opening this one since I got it. Let's go ahead and get it open. Go ahead and start with the pylon first. Oh, buddy. Look at this. This is heavy. Excellent. Well, the thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to create a port basically along the inside here to run our wires down and through. So this is going to be a project for the next time. So we're going to go ahead and just set this in place right over here and kind of pass over any work that we were going to have to do in this stage on the pylons. Let's go ahead and get that set aside and then get all of our little bits pulled out. There we go. We got a couple of caps. And this one happened to open up really nicely. So what we're going to do, let's see. There we go. All the parts are out as I drop things. All right, so after dropping these pieces, I'm going to go ahead and set these aside. These will basically normally be clipped into place. Where is it? Right along the insides here. But for the sake of the episode next time, I'm going to go ahead and set these aside. And in order to keep them in place, along with the pylon, what I'm going to do Grab a glue dot. Stick to the inside here. There we go. Stick those there. That there, and we're all set. Go ahead and set that off to the side. Now, I'm going to go ahead and grab some of our CP screws here. I'm going to set off to the side there. And very simply, all we're going to do is install our phaser strip. Just like so. And we're going to go ahead and secure that in place with 2 of these CP screws. And there it is. That's stage 64 for at least what we can do for right now. So, okay. It is time. Let's go ahead and move on to stage 65 and the end of this episode, which should be a fairly quick one, but we do get to bring out the saucer, which is always one of my favorite things to do. Stage 65 coming up. All right, so let's go ahead and open up stage 65. And once again, as a reminder, I have already gone through and resined and painted my windows. And I got to say, these ones turned out so good. I really like the way these big windows worked out. So there we go. And here is our reflector. And let's go ahead and get the rest of our parts out. And we're going to go ahead and set the part of the pylon that we would normally be working on in this stage off to the side. So we have our LEDs. We have a couple of LEDs here. Some windows that we don't have to do anything with, which is fantastic. And a piece of our pylon, which happens to be plastic. Okay. That goes off to the side. So we have some FM and BP screws here. So let's go ahead and get our FM screws out. And then our BPs. Excellent. Okay. Now, I think that's going to be enough for this. Let me bring the saucer up. I want to try to remove all the sharp things off the desk. Let's go ahead and start by grabbing our panel. And we're going to take the reflector. And with the screw post down going this way, we're going to go ahead and clip this in place just like so. And we're going to secure it in place with 1 BP screw. And just a reminder, don't over torque these. The plastic screws, you can strip them. So there we go. Excellent. Now, my favorite part, let's go ahead and grab the saucer. All right, there it is. So cool. Go ahead and remove my power mod from it. There we go. Set that off to the side. All right, so we're going to be working right up in this sector in this area. So let's go ahead and turn the model around. And it seems that the edge of my saucer is a little bit cattywampus. So I'm going to need to do some work and probably do a little bit better job of making sure that this stays secured. Probably put it in a slightly different place now. I have a big Fanhome box that I've been using. But anyway, I digress. Let's go ahead and grab our LEDs. There we are. Give ourselves some room. Excellent. Now, all right. So, I'm obviously great at following instructions. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is unplug this LED from here. Because I think just when I was going through and redoing all the wiring for this model, there we go. We're just going to go ahead and move this over. But when I was doing all the wiring for this model, or taking it apart to resin all the windows there a couple months back, yeah, I think I kind of just put the LEDs back in kind of whatever spot on the board that I determined. Now, obviously, it's going to be totally fine, but for the sake of this, I got two short LEDs and I want to go ahead and make sure that they're getting put in place properly. So we're now going to go ahead and use my tweezers. I think I'm going to use my reverse action tweezers here. So they kind of grip and hold. And our polarity is going this way. So let's go ahead and start like that. And just kind of running through end to end. Get that plugged in the top port. There we go. Then let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. And then the second LED is going to be going into this port right here. And there we go. Now, both of these need to come down and through. So let's go over our regular tweezers here. Down and through. And then where are they going to come up? They need to come through this way. Okay, so these ones go this way. And for this one set, we're going to be using the LED with the green yellow, or the black and red, and then the green and yellow we're going to be using later on. Okay, so I'll zoom back out. I want to stay a little close in, but we're going to be running them up through this way. And then the second set of LEDs, we're going to find where they went. We're going to go run through this way. Pull them up. There we go. And these ones are also going to run through down this way. There we go. And then with these two, these we're going to use on both sides. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab our panel, and with the panel sitting with the screw hole facing this way, we're going to go ahead and plug in our LEDs into the panel, which hasn't been tightened down on this side. Just like so. Then while holding it down, we're going to go ahead and secure it in place with two BP screws. Remember not to over torque. And there we go. That's what that looks like. Perfect. Those are still set off to the side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bend the LEDs down, just like so, being very gentle. Now, what we need to do is very gently slide this panel in place and push it down over this post right here. Slot it into place. There we go. There is an alignment hole right here. Want to make sure that everything is all aligned properly. And you can go ahead and loosely install. We're going to go ahead and just use one FM screw here very loosely, just to hold it in place. Indoor 3-in-1 oil. Just to hold that. There we go. Now, we're going to go ahead and grab the first one, the red and black, from the first the one that we just installed. We'll run this over this way. And this one is going to go ahead and get slotted into place right here. And I'm going to use a little bit of my Scotch tape to hold it in place. And just by a little bit, I mean just the tiniest little bit. There we go. Excellent. Now we're going to go ahead and grab, so this is going to stay off to the side over this way. We're going to go ahead and grab this panel, and then while slotting in, we're going to both simultaneously push down and in and over at the same time. Somehow. There we go. There we go. Very good. And then we're going to go ahead and secure this in place with the 2 more FM screws. Oop. While pushing over to make sure that we're creating our light blocking. And 1 more. And then we will cinch up the bottom one. And get this one tightened down. Go. Then get all the rest of them tightened down. Excellent. There we go. So there it is. Stage 65 is complete. And we're going to be setting a lot of this stuff off to the side, but there is the next layer of windows going down, and this seems to be the new process. So in the next stage, or in the coming stages, we're going to go ahead and assemble, this piece, which is going to be nothing but escape pods, and then we're going to have the little end piece to go ahead and encapsulate everything. And I can see that there's going to be some issues with keeping these aligned. So I happen to be aligning the stars, so I think we should be in some pretty good hands for that front. So there it is, my friends, stages 63, 64, and 65. And in the next episode, we're going to go ahead and go through and do another portion of the nacelle mod, and that's going to be for running the electronics. And so another big one coming up. We're only going to be covering stage 66 as we finish up this pack, as we move on to the next pack of this build. So that's what I got for you guys today, and I just want to say thank you. I know there was a million things y'all could have done today. Instead, you spent a couple minutes with me watching me build a model, and I think that's pretty damn cool. If you guys have any questions or comments, tips, tricks, please leave them down below. Like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And my friends, until we see each other again, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world where we happen to be. And just remember, friends, to always live long and prosper.